The Fox and the Sick Lion. There was once a mighty lion, the king of the jungle, feared and respected by all. His roar could shake the earth, and his strength was unmatched. But as time passed, the lion grew old and sick. His once lustrous mane had lost its shine, and his powerful limbs began to tremble. The king of beasts, now vulnerable, retreated into his den, hidden deep within the forest. The animals of the jungle, once terrified of the lion's reign, began to notice something strange. No longer did they hear his powerful roar. The sounds of his steps, once heavy and commanding, had fallen silent. Whispers spread through the forest. Something was wrong with the lion. But what? One day, a clever fox, ever the observant creature, came across the lion's den. The air was thick with an eerie stillness, the kind that sends a chill down your spine. As the fox crept closer, it noticed something chilling. There were fresh footprints leading into the lion's den, but none leading out. A shiver ran down the fox's spine. The lion had not been seen for days, and yet, those footprints, they spoke of a lone creature who had ventured in but never returned. Curiosity gnawed at the fox, but caution kept it at bay. What could have happened to those who entered? What fate awaited anyone who dared to come too close? The fox's sharp mind raced as it mulled over the possibilities. Had the lion finally fallen to illness, or was something far more sinister at play? The other animals had been noticing the same oddity, but none dared to approach. The jungle was abuzz with whispers, each creature speculating, each one wondering, but none willing to risk the truth. The lion's reign had come to an end, but what would replace it? Would the jungle finally be free from its terrifying grip? Or would a new terror rise in its place? The fox decided to take action. It had to know the truth, no matter the cost. It was clever, after all, and always one step ahead. It followed the footprints into the den, its heart pounding in its chest, the anticipation thick in the air. The deeper it ventured, the more oppressive the silence became. And then, in the shadow of the den, the fox saw it. The lion, lying weak and frail. His once great form was now barely a shadow of its former self. His eyes, once sharp and commanding, were now dull with sickness. The lion could barely lift his head, his breath shallow and ragged. The fox, with its quick wit, understood at once. The footprints leading into the den belonged to the lion's last prey, the animals who had fallen victim to his predatory nature, driven by his hunger and power. But now the lion was a shadow of the beast he once was. His sickness had rendered him weak, unable to hunt or defend himself. The other animals, wise to his decline, had stopped entering the den, choosing to wait out the king's final days in silence. The fox, ever the opportunist, paused for a moment, its heart heavy with the weight of this revelation. The jungle would be free from the lion's tyranny, but the cost had been high. The lion, once the apex predator, was now a mere ghost of his former self. But the fox did not pity the lion. Instead, it felt a quiet satisfaction, for it knew that the balance of the jungle was shifting. The reign of the lion was over, and a new era would soon dawn. The jungle, once ruled by fear, would now be shaped by the creatures who had survived. With one final glance at the fallen lion, the fox turned and walked away, its footsteps silent as it disappeared into the depths of the jungle. And from that day on, the jungle was never the same. The animals, once ruled by fear, now walked with confidence, knowing that the king of beasts was no more. If you enjoyed this tale, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.